Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here, and I am a self-love specialist and relationship expert from TanyaTKO.com. And today we're going to be talking about Ready to Love, Season 1, Episode 2. And as you can tell from my face, I'm none too... but I'm really trying, you guys. I'm really trying. So you know what? I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. And I'm going to process this as we go along. So if you're interested in hearing my synopsis of this episode, if you want to talk about it with me, let's do that in the comments. I'm really trying. You guys said that you like this show. Let me start the timer. Here we go. All right. You know, part of what disappoints me is that this show is on OWN. If this show was on Bravo or someplace else, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But this show is on OWN, so my expectation of a show on OWN where we have Super Soul Sunday and we have Oprah and we have Black Love and we have all of these amazingly rich, powerful shows of people who are self-aware, evolved, and spiritually connected, etc. But to see this show unfold the way it's unfolding, it's just it's leaving so many questions. It's leaving so many questions to beg. Okay, so let's run down. All right, first of all, on episode 1, it's like more of the same. All right, so they cut out 3 guys from the first show. One of the guys was a businessman. He had a big bouffant of locks, and he was talking to the women about business, but they didn't want to hear none of that. There was a guy who was talking about family and all this other stuff, and a few of them put him in the friend zone. One person put him in the brother zone. They cut him off of the show. The other guy was problematic. He had some misogynistic views that were archaic, and I'm glad they got him off the show. His name was Paco. Right, that's the one who was talking about if a guy cheats, it's okay, but if a woman cheats, he just says blah, blah, blah. And he cheated on 2 of his ex-girlfriends or wives or whoever. Nonetheless, so now on this episode, there are 5 guys and they're taking it down to 3. And so I'm getting to know some of the names, etc. So, you know what? I'm really trying. I'm really trying. And you know what? And I know that the people who are on this show will most likely see this video. So I really want to be respectful to the people who are on this show. However, I have to wonder, right? Why? Why are they calling this show Ready to Love? It's like what I see is a bunch of adults who are making the same dating mistakes that they made before. So we have people who are navigating themselves towards folks that they are physically attracted to, people who are schmoozing or being charismatic or whatnot. Let me tell you about some of the people in the show. Oh, God. All right. So there's this one guy named Aaron. And so Aaron, if you guys watch the show, or even just look around at some of the clips. So now Aaron thinks that he's handsome. Some of the other ladies think that he's handsome. And you can see that there are certain components of him that are very handsome because he's created a lifestyle where oh my God, I only have 6 minutes left. Okay, so he's created a lifestyle where he gets by on this charm that he possesses, basically making bedroom eyes, doing lots of physical touching on different points. That gives a greater feeling of familiarity. Agreeing with people, complimenting people, showing off his body or whatnot. And so we have women who are gravitating. And one of the biggest things that I can say that just really stood out to me on this show is that there's this woman named Melinda, and this speaks so much to a lot of the mistakes that we make in dating. There's a woman named Melinda who's on the show. She's 45 years old. She went out with Pastor Chris, and when she was out on a date with Pastor Chris, she was basically like, some women are like the soap pump. You have to prime it a few times in order to really get to know them. But then this was the same woman who was like shouting and thanking hallelujah and Jesus that Aaron was going to be on the show. And so this is just so categoric. So it's like, you know, people will exert themselves as they see fit. If it's hard to get to know a person, if it's hard to crack through, hard to get through, just know that they're just not feeling you. And the part that troubles me about this show is that there's no guidance for these people. The host of the show is a comedian. He's the host of the show because he himself got married 30 years ago. But relationships 30 years ago are a lot different than relationships today. And there's nobody guiding them through the process of aligning themselves with people whose values and goals and style are the same. And I'm not talking about physical style. I'm talking about communication style, financial style, the style in which you want to live, all of these different styles that make up who we are as human beings. Like the questions that they're asking are kind of surfacey. They're gravitating towards people who look nice or dress nice or who have nice bodies. What I would love to see is just all of that stripped away. I would love to see a show about people who are truly ready to love, where you don't see their fancy clothes and their makeup and their hair and all. And so it's like basically we have a bunch of women. The bulk of the women on the show, face full of makeup, weaves in their hair, or going back and forth between natural and weave. Because I did actually see some women who were natural on the show. Nonetheless, I would love to see a show where people are just wearing burlap sacks and no makeup, and really have to navigate through getting to know a person, not based on the airs and the fronts that they put out. Let me see if I can say everything that I wanted to say. You know what? You know, I had some other notes and stuff, but I would love your thoughts below. Tell me what it is that you think. I'm going to attempt to follow along with the show, but I just find it so incredibly frustrating because you have people who are in this dating situation where the whole premise is that these people are ready to love. However, there has been no discussion of any changes that they made from what it is that they've done in the past. So you just take people who basically have not been successful in relationship in the past, and you bring them into a situation without any type of guidance, without any type of gearing them towards what a healthy, functional relationship looks like. One of the girls on the show, she got out her last relationship. She's 31. Her last relationship was 11 years. So look at the numbers. She got with him when she was 20. He had no job. He had no legal job. He cheated on her several times. She was with him because she didn't want to be lonely. Okay. But what has she done to really, besides saying, no, I will not take this anymore, and pulling herself out of this relationship, of which, remember, she's still on the show crying about? What has she done on the inside to create the changes and the shifts so that she's drawn towards a healthy, not an away from goal, not, because like she even said, oh, I've been with guys like Aaron before. Now I've been there, done that. I want a different type of guy. But instead of doing a complete 180 and really denying the patterns and the programming that drew you into that first guy in the first place, it's like, so now we have this person that's just kind of like a dislodged satellite in space, who's out there not really knowing what it is that caused that on the inside for her to be attracted to that type of male in the first place. And two things I want to say before I jump out of the video, and I really want your thoughts below, okay, because we're running down on the time now. So two things I want to say. The girl with all of the makeup on and the Cousin It hair, they did like this double date kind of thing. And in a situation where there were other people around, she just retreated into herself. She didn't have anything to say. And also Aaron, if he doesn't have the ability to pull up his shirt and show his abs and all of this other stuff, it's like, what has he really done to cultivate himself as a human being? Personally, I think that Aaron is one of the people who suffer from low self-image. You know, it's like he has this facade that he puts out there. And there are people who are drawn into this facade. But it's like, you know how they say, jack of all trades, master of none. If you're so busy really just kind of spreading yourself thin among the people, or among women, what is it that you're really doing to hone and cultivate yourself and your own preferences as a man? One of the things that worries me, well, God, one of the things that worries me is that going forward now, the men are going to be doing the selecting of what women they choose. And we know where that's going to lead. It's going to lead to the women competing in the areas in which men like, which is what? Cooking slash cleaning, sex. What was the other thing that I put on my list? We only got 8 seconds left before the alarm. Oh, that's all I have on the list. Cooking, cleaning, and sex. So showing that you can keep house, that's the alarm right there. So I talked about this for 10 minutes. Showing you can keep house. Being somebody who they feel is physically attractive, or going to, you know what? And then I'll say this and I'll get out of the video. When men are left to choose, or when men are left to dictate and navigate what are the characteristics that should be promoted in a dating culture, we get a lot of what it is that we have now. Women competing for sexual advancement, or competing for advancement by using sex and giving of themselves in taking care of men, cooking and cleaning for them, auditioning for the role of wife, etc. And we get a lot of what it is that we have now. When women choose, women are basically biologically geared towards choosing men who are going to be protectors and providers. Men typically, evolutionarily speaking, are more drawn towards women who are stupid and fertile, or show that they're stupid and fertile. So how is this going to affect the going of the show? I don't know. But I'm not liking the direction that it's going in. I'm not editing this video, so I'm going to get out of here. I just wanted to drop that on you all. And I really want your thoughts below. I don't know. I guess, I wanted to say one last thing. Because somebody was saying that they did not think that any of the men on the show were attractive. I mean, they cast who, for whatever reason, they cast certain people. The guy Aaron, who thinks that he's so handsome or whatnot. I'll say this, and then I'll jump out of here. You know what? I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I might say it in a future video, but I'm not going to say it in this one. I'm going to go. Tanya TKO. I'll see you guys in the next video. I am going to be reviewing the show Chad Loves Michelle. Now, that is a show that I do like, especially since